And that's opening up a can of worms right there. You might as well be talking climate change. First of all, there's no large-scale weather modification being done in Florida. So I will say, most succinctly, is what's next? Are we going to outlaw Santa's sleigh? I feel like that's the vein of this bill. And I did do a blog post on this, and if you go to Buresh blog weather modification, it'll pop up, and I give a long explanation of what's going on in weather modification and what's not, and what's real and what's not. Yes, some weather modification efforts have been done since the 1950s in the United States and still are to this day to a point, but you cannot turn a hurricane from the United States or draw it to the United States. You're not talking about massive, large-scale changes. It's too complicated. And as far as cloud seeding goes, remember that first you have to have a cloud to seed it. So the jets aren't creating clouds.
Yes.
Point number one. And then also all indications are that even the best efforts of cloud seeding are not changing the production of the cloud by more than 10 to perhaps 20%. So 1 inch of rain on a good day, if the cloud's been seeded, could become 1.2 inches of rain.
On the very best scenario.
It's kind of like spitting in the ocean, in other words. Now, having said that, I personally feel like we ought to let Mother Nature do her thing. We probably ought not mess with Mother Nature because it's going to come back to haunt us. So that's my take on it in 2 minutes or less. It's a complicated, and again, for whatever reason, a political hot potato, but educate yourself on it, just like climate change. Understand it. Don't go just listen to one side or a soundbite. Listen to the facts. Science isn't perfect, but that's what science is. It's hypothesis, and then you prove it right or wrong. We've done that forever. That's how we've made advances like we have.
That's why we're not using leeches.
So, right. So weather is or science is very real and important. And I just real quickly, common sense is something that's been brought up recently a lot, that, common sense, it was lost, and we need to bring that back. And I understand that, and I get it. And I think that was a really good idea originally. But what I'm finding now, Troy, is that some people are not able to separate common sense from things that don't make sense, kind of. Like, so instead of helping to advance things because you're trying to understand it, people are confusing it by it doesn't make sense. So then it must not be real.